of course, there's no Tamra, and they say, "No, you got the wrong house. Do you need some help? I can help you." And she's like, she just kind of stares at them for a while, and I had forgotten this, and she goes, "I'll see you later."
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit.
That's not creepy enough as it is.
And then the really cool detail. They always they always unscrew the light bulb, so when you turn on the porch light, it doesn't light up her face. It's an awesome creepy detail.
Yeah.
So then that happens, and it's obviously pretty weird. But then for some reason, Kristen is like, yeah, even though it's like 4 a.m, she's like, I'm out of cigarettes. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll go get you, I'll go get some more. And she's like, no, that's not what I meant. I was just saying that I don't have any more. I can just go to bed. And he's like, no, don't do that. I'll be right back. I need to drive anyway. So he leaves her alone when they just got, which is weird because they were, this lady just knocked on the door who in the middle of the night.
And they don't even know, never seen her before.
Yeah, and it's like it's a weird part of town to be in, right? And then he's like, okay, let me leave my girlfriend alone. So then he goes out, and things get way worse for her. She takes a bath, she puts on a record, and that's another thing. Another detail in this is they do a really good juxtaposition of using these music that really doesn't mesh well with horror and creating a whole nother vibe with that. Mm-hmm. Like the clashing of like the country or like the folk that is just so out of place that it's like, wow, that has just turned the tension up in this scene like to 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes it way more uneasy.
It's crazy how effective that is.
I think they only did that. I've only heard, other than this movie, that was what's it called? The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah. Where he uses kind of like a
American folk kind of music.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Where were we? Oh yeah, so she's
James had taken off.
Yeah, he takes off. Kristen's like trying to get comfortable, and she hears a knock at the door, and then she charges her phone, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes over to the door, and it's the doll-faced girl again. She goes, "Is Tamra there?" She's like, "No, you already been there. Are you sure?" And she doesn't respond, right? So then at that point, Kristen's like, oh, something's weird going on. So she changes into her clothes, into some like more street clothes. And she's obviously starting to get panic attacks or whatever. And then we see there's this really creepy shot where the man in the mask, as they call him, the with the sack mask or whatever, he just like shows up already in the house. Like,
that was probably the creepiest scene. Had to be one of the creepiest scenes in the whole entire movie, where she's, we can see him behind her, but she's totally oblivious, and she's just freaking out and looking, towards the front of the door, and then messing with their phone, which is it's just an uneasy scene in the movie.
Yeah, which is right there is what I wanted to talk about, I guess, overall in this episode is because of this pandemic that's happening currently, right? Everybody is forced to be at home,
Right.
And so I feel like it makes these kind of stories pop a little harder when you are stuck. Like, you got to think about your home is like supposed to be your sanctuary, somewhere where you're protected at all times. You can do whatever you want. You can be naked. You can not be naked. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And these movies, this kind of subgenre strips that away, essentially, or makes you at least respect it a little bit more, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Where you're like, how safe are you really? Like, yeah, your door's locked, but did you remember to lock your window? Like, are they already inside? Right. Are they already under the bed? Are they in the closet? You know what I mean? And these are things that movies like this kind of bring up in an unnerving way. And I think looking back at The Strangers now, through the I guess like the lens of me being more older and less like, oh, get to the point, like I want more action in my horror or whatever, I think that this film has aged really, really well. The first one in particular, it doesn't, and not a lot happens, but the tension, and
it's the tension and how they play with them. Like it's a game to the strangers, basically. They're getting that fear, that adrenaline pumping in those in the people who are in the house, and I think that's something that I wouldn't say like they enjoy seeing them freak out and run around.
Yeah, and that's what's even creepier is that, I think in horror today, or just in film in general, where we've become obsessed with, we want to know everything. We want motives. Mm-hmm. We want to know,
that's what makes the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's what makes the film so scary and so unsettling, and makes you feel that uneasy feeling. Is when they ask them, why you're doing this, and it's that, well, because you're home. The reason there is no reason. It's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The chaos and violence just because you can.
Exactly.
And being stuck in like you said, a house is supposed to make you feel safe, secure. You're at home, you're at ease, but when that is not the case, it's a terrifying feeling when you have no control over a place where you're supposed to have ultimate control of, basically. So I think that's one of the key things that this movie preys on, pun intended for the second one. But it preys on that fear of, of being stuck in your house with someone who's trying to cause harm to you.
Yeah. And that also, the strangers, not really having faces, it's they could be anybody, and these are normal people that have just decided to do this. These people could have regular jobs. They could be anybody. They could be your neighbor in real life. You know what I mean? And you have no idea. It's not a monster. It's not Freddy. It's not Jason.
It's like
you know
real
what
life.
I mean? Yeah, it's like these people getting off on your fear. You know what I mean? And something that's really intriguing about this first one too is the fact that they could have probably killed them right away, but they don't. Yeah. But they don't. They were more interested in the cat and the mouse. What are these people going to do? How does their mind work? What are they going to do to try to get out of this? And that's why it's almost as if they've thought about every possible scenario, and that's why they're one step ahead of this couple every time.
Yep.
That being said,
and it goes to show you too when they go into when they both run through the woods, or like that wooded area. They already know, they're already in there, and the sackhead guy is just chilling in the woods staring at them. Like, okay, that's creepy as shit. Like,
yep.
It's like, yeah, we're here, and the girl's just on the swing. It's like, whatever. Like,
the thing is, towards the middle of the film, I feel like they start making bad decisions to push the plot along for stuff to happen to them.
I could see that, yeah.
You know, first of all,
yeah.
Okay, so his best friend, what's his name? James's best friend is supposed to pick him up in the morning. He's, you know, it's already about to be morning, so he's on his way to pick him up because he's like, you know, we shouldn't do the road trip anymore. It didn't work out with her. I just want to go home. So his friend is on his way to pick him up. And by this time, all of this stuff has went down between all this battle between, so the house is all messed up. The car is fucked up, you know. I think they've already turned on, the couple has found, James and Kristen have found the shotgun.
Yeah, that's right. He gets the shotgun and they hide in the boiler room or the closet room.
The closet room. Right, so then his best friend starts to go and investigate the house. And all the while you're hoping, you know, because they're waiting inside the room for somebody to walk through the door so they can kill them with a gun. Meanwhile, they're not thinking about, oh, my best friend he's supposed to pull up to pick me up at any time, you know what I mean? And so, of course, adrenaline is high. You're going to make mistakes. I'll buy that one. The friend walks into the hallway, and he sees that something's wrong. So he picks up a poker. He has a weapon. And right before he walks into the room or starts to, we see a shot of what's behind him, and it's the guy, the man in the mask, the sack dude, with an axe. So that's them playing out both scenarios. So if they don't shoot him, he's gonna get an axe to the head, to the back, you know, pretty much. It was like an insurance policy thing. But the friend does walk into the hallway, and they fire the shotgun before they have a chance to see who it was.
It blows his face off.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
pretty brutal. Looking death.
And that's when James realizes who it was, because I know he goes out to check on him after he shoots him.
Yep.
And he realizes it's his fucking best friend.
Yep.
That would be a horrifying situation. You'd be like, oh, damn, I just shot Wes. Damn, sorry, bro. I guess the podcast is over.
Oh, damn, you gotta shoot. What about me? What about me, dog?
That's when rude behavior rises to the top.
You know, someone has to take that status.
I guess so. I guess gotta step up. Nah, but yeah, it's an unsavory feeling to be in that position, especially when like you're being attacked left and right, and everything, and they have a step over everything. So, and especially because they're well versed in like working in the shadows.
Yeah.
So they've already worked these people into a frenzy. So they could do it. They basically let them kill themselves. They basically,
pretty much.
Yeah. They basically all they do is like they want to they let them do the mistakes and shit.
Let them get exhausted.
They already put in the fear.
Yeah. Do you think it was the Sackhead's face? I mean, like idea all along to have his best friend walk through the hallway? Do you think he was anticipating that James had a shotgun?
Yes, I think yes, okay. Yes. I noticed this detail while watching it. So they do this the thing where they're about to they walk by the door, and then the sackhead guy, he starts axing the front door, right? from the outside, which is kind of like a homage to The Shining, I would think.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, okay, fuck, like we like grab this piano and we gotta block the door. And for some reason they only block one side. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I don't know why they only blocked that side. And then so he